Frank Caprio opened the file. His face hardened. Sarah Mitchell? His voice serious. Very serious. Yes, sir. A young woman, 28 years old, looks exhausted, eyes red. Frank looked at the file, then at Sarah. DUI, driving under influence, drunk driving. Sarah lowered her head. Yes, sir. Tell me what happened. Sarah took a deep breath. I was coming back from a job interview in Cranston, around 4 p.m. Continue. Before the interview, I was very nervous, very stressed, and I stopped at a friend's house. She gave me wine to calm me down. Frank frowned. How much wine? 2 glasses, maybe 3. When? Around noon, 12:30. And the interview was when? 2 p.m. And when did police stop you? 4:15 p.m., Frank calculated. So 4 hours later, and you were still drunk. Yes, sir. Breathalyzer showed 0.09, limits 0.08. Over the limit, legally intoxicated. Sarah started crying quietly. I know, I'm sorry. Frank paused, looked at Sarah. Sarah, hold on, tell me the truth. Why did you drink wine? Real reason. Sarah wiped her tears. I lost my job 3 months ago. Worked at a cafe in Providence. Cafe closed. Bad economy. And I'm a single mom. 2 kids. Emma, 5 years old. Liam, 7 years old. And rent is $1,200 monthly. I can't pay. Kid's father? He left 2 years ago. Different state. Doesn't pay child support. I can't afford a lawyer, because I have no money. Frank nodded. I understand. Continue. The job interview was so important. Grocery store cashier job, $15 an hour, part-time, but at least something. And I wanted it so badly. I needed it so badly. But you were very anxious. Yes. And my friend said, have a glass of wine, calm down. And I stupidly drank. Because I thought 4 hours later, alcohol's gone, I'll be safe. But you weren't. No, Sarah cried. And now, with a DUI record, I won't get that job either, because who hires someone with DUI, and what will I do? What will my children eat? Frank was silent. Long silence. Courtroom was silent, too. Finally, Frank spoke. Sarah, look at me. Sarah raised her head. Frank's voice softened, but still serious. Sarah, I understand. Your story, your struggle, single mom, 2 kids, no job, no money, and you made a mistake, a stupid decision. Yes, sir. But Sarah, listen to me carefully, because now I'm going to tell you something, and this is very important. Sarah waited. Everyone waited. Frank stood up, walked to the window, looked outside. For a long time. Then turned. DUI isn't a simple crime. This isn't just a penalty on paper, this is life and death. I know, sir. No, Sarah, you don't know. Because you were lucky. You didn't hit anyone. Didn't kill any child. Didn't destroy any family. Sarah cried. I know, I'm so sorry. But Sarah, the next person might not be lucky. The next mother might drink wine, get in car, hit a child, and that child dies. Courtroom went completely silent. Very heavy silence. And if I forgive you today, don't give you penalty, what happens? Next person thinks, Sarah didn't get penalty, neither will I. And that person drinks wine, drives car, and someone dies. Sarah lowered her head. I understand, sir. That's why, Sarah, I have to give you penalty, legally, morally, because law is law, and drunk driving is never acceptable. Frank returned to his seat, sat down, opened the file. Sarah Mitchell, you're guilty of DUI, according to Rhode Island law, penalty. Sarah kept crying. First, your license is suspended. 6 months, you cannot drive. But how will I take kids to school? Listen, Sarah, I'm not finished. Sorry. Second, $500 fine. Court costs included. I have no money. You can pay installments, $50 monthly, 10 months. Okay, sir. Third, alcohol education program, 12 weeks, every Saturday, in Providence, mandatory. Yes, sir. Fourth, community service, 40 hours, in drunk driving awareness program. You'll tell other people, your story, your mistake. Sarah cried. Okay, I'll do it. And fifth, Frank paused. If you ever drive drunk again, penalty is much harsher. License revoked, jail, and your children could be taken from you. Sarah screamed, crying. No, please, don't take my children. Then don't do it again, Sarah. Never again. I won't, I swear. Never again. Frank picked up the gavel. Decision made. Sarah Mitchell, above penalties will be applied. Court? Frank stopped, held gavel in air. Didn't bring it down. Long silence. Then, in soft voice, Sarah, 1 moment. After court ends, stay. We need to talk. Sarah was surprised. With me? Yes, privately, after court ends. Frank brought down the gavel. Court is adjourned. Everyone can leave. Sarah, you stay. Everyone left, slowly, curiously. What will happen? Only Sarah remained. And Frank. And Linda, court clerk, in the corner. Frank stood up, came down from judge's bench, approached Sarah, sat down, next to Sarah. As human, not as judge. Sarah, look at me. Sarah looked, eyes still wet. I'm going to tell you a story, personal story, because you need to know why I was so serious. Sarah listened quietly. Frank took deep breath. I had a brother, Thomas Caprio, 5 years younger than me. Very energetic, always laughing, always joking. Sarah nodded. 1987. Tommy was 22 years old. I was 27. Tommy just graduated college, business degree, and found a job in Boston. Good job. And he was so happy. Frank's voice broke. He continued. One night, Tommy was celebrating with friends. His new job. They were at a bar in Providence, Federal Hill, and Tommy drank. Few beers. Maybe 3. Maybe 4. Sarah held her breath. And his friends said, Tommy, don't drive. We'll take you home. But Tommy said, I'm fine. I only had a few beers. I can drive. Frank stopped, eyes filled. And Tommy got in the car. On the way home, Route 95, Tommy lost control. Car hit the barrier, and Tommy died. Instantly. 22 years old. Sarah started crying. I'm so sorry. Wait, Sarah, I'm not finished. Sarah waited. Tommy wasn't alone. There was another car. Young family, mother, father, and 6-year-old daughter. Tommy's car hit them. Mother and father were injured. But the girl, Sophie, she died too. 6 years old. Sarah screamed, crying. Oh God, 2 deaths, 1 night, because of 1 decision. I'm fine. I can drive. Frank wiped his tears. And since that night, every day, I think, if someone had stopped Tommy, if someone had taken his keys, if someone had parked his car, maybe Tommy would live. Maybe Sophie would live. Frank held Sarah's hands. Sarah, now listen to me. Yes, sir. You got penalty today. License suspended, fine, alcohol program, community service, and you're thinking, Frank is cruel. Frank doesn't understand me. Sarah shook her head. No, sir, I understand. But Sarah, the truth is, I saved your life, your children's lives, and maybe someone else's life. How? Because if I had forgiven you today, you might drink again someday, drive again, and you might hit a child, like Sophie, and that child dies, and you live forever with that image. Sarah cried. I'll never do it again, I swear. I know, Sarah, because you're a good mother. You love your children, and you live for them. Yes, sir. Frank stood up. Sarah, now go. Serve your penalty. Go to alcohol program. Do community service. and every day look in the mirror and say, "I got a second chance." Sarah stood up. "Thank you, sir. I understand." Because Sarah, my brother Tommy, didn't get a second chance. He died, 22 years old. "But you're alive. You're getting a second chance." Sarah cried. I don't deserve this." "Maybe you don't. Maybe you do. But you got it. Now use it. Be a better person. Be a better mother. And one day maybe you'll give someone else a second chance." Sarah hugged Frank. "Thank you. Thank you so much." Frank hugged back. "Go, Sarah, and remember, you're not alone. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous exists, support groups exist, and you can do this." "I will, sir, I promise." 1 year later, Sarah returned to court, but this time not as defendant, as visitor. Frank recognized her. "Sarah?" "Yes, sir." Sarah was smiling. Real smile. Happy. Healthy. "How are you?" I'm very good, sir. I came to thank you." "Thank me?" "Yes, because you saved my life." Frank smiled. "Sit, Sarah. Tell me. What happened?" Sarah sat. "I served my penalty. Everything. License suspension ended. I completed alcohol program, did community service, 40 hours. And you know what? I loved it." "Loved it?" "Yes. I spoke at high schools, to teenagers, about alcohol and driving danger. And I told them, my story, your brother's story, Tommy's story." Frank's eyes filled. "Tommy's story?" "Yes. Because that story changed me. That day, after court, you talked to me. And you told me about Tommy and Sophie, and I understood. I'm lucky. I got a second chance. And now I'm 1 year sober. Didn't drink any alcohol. I go to AA every week, and I became a sponsor, helping other women, like me." "Great, Sarah." "And sir, I found a job, at a hospital, receptionist, $17 an hour, full-time, with health insurance, and I can pay my rent, and my children are happy." Frank stood up, hugged Sarah. "Sarah, I'm so proud. And sir, one more thing." "Yes?" Sarah took out a photo from her bag. "This is Emma and Liam, last week, school photos. I wanted to give it to you, because you saved their lives too." Frank looked at the photo. 2 beautiful children, smiling, happy. They're so beautiful, Sarah. They pray for you every day, I told them. Judge Caprio helped Mom. He's a good man," Frank cried. "Thank you, Sarah." "No, sir, thank you. Because that day you gave me penalty, and I was angry. I thought, Frank is bad. Frank is cruel. But now I understand. You loved me. Tough love. And that's the best love." Frank turned to camera. To viewers. You saw Sarah's story. And maybe some of you are thinking, Frank was too harsh. Sarah was in difficult situation. Why didn't you forgive? Answer is simple. Because drunk driving is unforgivable. Never. For no reason. If you drank 1 beer, 1 wine, 1 shot, don't drive. Call Uber, $20. Call taxi, $30. Call your friend, free. But never, never drive drunk. Because you could be Tommy. You could kill Sophie. If someone you love, your sibling, friend, spouse, drank and trying to drive, take the keys. Fight, yell, but don't give the keys. Because that person will thank you tomorrow. But if you give the keys, maybe there's no tomorrow. If you're like Sarah, have alcohol problem, please ask for help. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, aa.org. Hotline, 1-800-839-1686. Free, anonymous, 24/7. And remember, addiction isn't shame, it's illness and it's treatable. Frank's voice broke. I lost Tommy 37 years ago, 1987. I still miss him, every day, but I keep telling his story, because maybe one person will listen, one person will park their car, one person will call Uber, and that person lives, and a Sophie lives. Sarah lived, because she was lucky, didn't hit anyone, but the next person might not be lucky. So please, don't drive drunk. Never. Frank raised the gavel, hit it one last time. Court is adjourned, but remember, second chance is a gift. My brother didn't get it. Sarah got it. And if you get it, use it. Be a better person. On screen, white letters. Sarah Mitchell is now 29 years old, 2 years sober. AA sponsor, helping 8 women. Hospital receptionist, full-time. Emma and Liam, happy and healthy. Thomas Tommy, Caprio, 1965 to 1987, forever in our hearts. Sophie Martinez, 1981 to 1987, an angel gone too soon. Don't drive drunk. Never, ever, for help. AA, 1-808-391686, 24/7. mad.org. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. Second chance is a gift. Use it.